J Jinx!
Truck stop!
This is JJ Jinx, back with another video. A video about this, the Gerber Dime. Now, I've talked about this before, but it didn't get its own video, and I thought maybe it deserves one. I've been carrying this little multi-tool around for the better part of a year, and it is fantastic. I do have complaints, though. First, the good. It's small, very innocuous. I just drop it in my pocket and forget that it's there. And it's packed with a lot of useful tools. Some not so useful, more on that later. One of the more unique tools is this one, which is designed to cut plastic clamshell type packaging. You know, the kind that's like kind of difficult to cut. I've never seen a multi-tool with this on it before, and it is very useful in my opinion. The pliers are sprung, and it's very comfy. The bottle opener also acts as kind of an ergonomic piece, so when you use the pliers, it gives your pinky somewhere to go. The large flathead screwdriver is very useful as a scraping tool. That's what I use it for. The scissors are very comfortable to use, and I think that's just because of the overall small size of this thing. It is its own handle for it. Now the blade, I really put through the ringer. I recently sharpened it, so it's better than it was. But yeah, I got it really, really dull. Oof, I gotta work on that bevel. And that's one of the great things about this tool, in my opinion. It's a small thing, but the tools are on the outside. You don't have to open it, fiddle with it, close it, use it, open it, put it away, close it. It's just one and done. For some reason, that's not very common. Now, it does expose the tools to your pocket lint, but that hasn't really been a problem. This stays pretty clean despite being in my filthy pocket. Now for my complaints. Well, by virtue of having this down in your pocket, if you have anything else in your pocket, it can get pretty marred, usually like keys and stuff like that. And that's not a terrible thing. Sometimes that distressed look is rather attractive. The anodized aluminum scales, I think, have a cool look to them when they're beat up like this. But some people might not like that. They do make a sheath for this thing. It's like one of those plastic molded thingies that you can slip it into. I do not have one, but they're not very expensive. Very easy to get. And in spite of the fantastic pliers, there is one negative thing about them. If you want to ply something very thin, keep in mind that the scales actually touch right here when you do that, and it can actually kind of deform the aluminum outer scales a bit. I learned that the hard way when I could suddenly no longer access the large flathead screwdriver because its track was just blocked by this aluminum piece folding in. But after I figured that out, I just unfolded it and said, okay, no more prying on thin things, which is fine because I almost never have to do that. But the one time I did do that, I was trying to get a splinter out of my hand. Why was I using the pliers? Well, two reasons. Number one, there are tweezers in this, but you kind of forget it's there. It's this little tiny piece sticking out right here. But there's a problem with my pair of tweezers. The two sides are kind of off-center. See that? So when you go to tweeze something, you're just not going to grab it. Now, I could bend these to try to line them up a little better, but then they wouldn't slip back in very well, and over time it would just unbend. And in spite of having all these useful tools, there's one that's virtually useless. And that is this one. It is a two-sided file. That's the fine side, where it's just one track, or whatever that is. Then you have the coarse file, which has the two of them crisscrossing. But when you have the tool deployed, you got all this stuff kind of in the way. The bottle opener's right there. The keychain hole thing is right there. So if you attach a lanyard or something, or keys, you're just not going to be able to use this file. Not to mention, why bother? Look how tiny this thing is. What are you going to file with that? I never use that tool. Not sure what you could have put there in its place, but you know what? Every multi-tool is going to have something you just never use, right? Now, they do make a few different versions of this, basically different colored scales mostly, but there is one model that is pretty difficult to find. It's the Gerber Dime Travel, which instead of a knife blade, it has this hook thing. I've looked all over eBay and could not find it. I don't know when they stopped making it, but the dime's been around for quite some time, so I'm just gonna assume they didn't sell too well, and so they decided to stop making them, I guess. My only other complaints about this particular dime is I didn't buy it retail. I actually got this from one of those TSA confiscated bags of usually crap from eBay. But I was pretty happy to see this thing because I've been wanting to try one. So it came already distressed and broken in. For example, the scissors on this piece are practically useless because if you look, there's quite a bit of play where they're kind of riveted together, which means that when you go to cut something, it basically just moves out of the way and slips right through. So you can't really cut anything with these unless you try to put force on it to get them together, but it's just kind of an impossible movement. And that plastic packaging cutter does have some dings in it. I did not put those there. I don't know what they were doing. And I'm assuming that brand new, it comes with a bit of a sharper tip, because when you initially insert this into the packaging, it can be a bit finicky. Therefore, I made the decision to get a brand new one. Now these come in green, as you can see, red, and also black. And I've seen some other colors here and there, but I don't know if they're custom or exclusive or what. I think I saw pink and blue. So, collectible. Packaging tells you that there are 12 tools in this multiplier, and there is a name for having the tools on the outside. It is evidently a butterfly open. You get a cool diagram on the back. It's pretty characteristic of Gerber packaging. I remember looking up the steel one time. It was kind of a weird steel, but it's basically like a 440-ish type of steel. The heat treat is good. I can vouch for that from what I did to the blade. And if you read the caution, it instructs you not to use this for ice picking. They're also doing something kind of artistic with the barcode here. That's kind of interesting. So now I will use a Gerber dime to unpackage another Gerber dime. How many people can say that they've done that? Oh, yep, got it in after some effort. All right, I'll keep this one around. I'll keep using it. If I can figure out how to fix the scissors, that would be fantastic. I don't know how. I guess I'd have to like hammer down on it to like spread the metal a little bit and kind of freeze it into place. I don't know. I've never really had to deal with that before. Usually you just kind of like, well, those don't work anymore, and you stop using them, which is what I did. Brand new dime. Zero play in the pliers, which is what you want. There's a tiny bit of play in this one, but it's not that bad, and it doesn't really take away from its utility. Oh wow, that is smooth. I'll have to grease up the joints on this one. I didn't know that it's supposed to be that smooth. Yeah, there's some gunk in there. Well, that's disappointing. There's already play in these scissors. It's not as bad, and I can feel the edges grinding together, so well, this packaging is a bit thick. But it cut it. Yeah, it does much better on the plastic. And lastly, these are not very expensive. I paid $25 for this one. And most importantly, it's very fidgety. Check the tweezer alignment. It is true. Very good. Well, I don't know how long ago this one was made, but I'm hoping that this one will last just as long, if not longer, because it has a lifetime warranty, but only if you're in North America, which I'm assuming that includes Canada and Mexico. If you're outside of America, your warranty is 25 years long. Designed and engineered in Oregon. Made in China. Now, there are other multi-tools out there that are tiny. I don't have any of them. I know that Leatherman makes the Squirt, which is expensive. You can get like 3 of these for the price of the Squirt. I'm not sure if I would like it just looking at it, but hey, you never know until you try. Maybe I'll pick one up someday. And if you have any recommendations for tiny multi-tools, give me a shout. I'll look in on it. Great little thing to have in your pocket. This has been JJ Jinx. Merry Christmas.